Bah. Is it a goat or a sheep? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, guys. We're talking about goats. Goat players, greatest of all time players. Why I'm buying one particular goat in particular. We're going to talk about why. We're going to talk about big picture stuff. Stick around. Hello to all my sports card collector, investor, all my collectibles friends. How's everybody doing? I got a good night's sleep last night. I'm excited to talk sports with you all. A GOAT player in particular's cards that I have been buying and that I'm going to continue to buy. I'm going to explain why. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, a little tappity tap on the notification bell so you can be notified of new videos that come out just about every day, fairly close to every day, 4 or 5 videos a week. And then also, if you like the video, please remember to hit the like button. It does help kind of get the word out on the video. I would appreciate it very much. All right, a quick note. First off, this channel has always been about just my journey in collecting sports cards, buying and selling, investing in sports cards, etc. This is not a buy these cards now, sell these cards now type channel. I'm literally just giving my opinion. I'm just another goober on the internet talking about cards. I don't take myself very seriously, and I've always thought it important to kind of share what I'm buying and share the why behind it in the case that, it might help somebody else or also just for my own documentation of what I'm doing so I can maybe look back on it and say like, okay, I got this right, or no, I got that wrong. And it's helpful for me and for anybody that cares to watch. All right, guys, the issue of buying sports cards of GOAT players, I wouldn't say it's controversial because sometimes it's very obvious. It's kind of like these are the players that already have established careers. They're the greatest of all time in their particular sport, legends of legends, if you will. And so, it just makes sense. But where there's so much nuance, disagreement, etc., is the pricing, as you might expect, for said GOATs is a lot higher than it is for prospects. In some cases. Now, in some cases, you've got red hot prospects like a Justin Herbert, for example, where the prices are already sky high. You could even say that Patrick Mahomes is a level up from a prospect because he has won a Super Bowl at such a young age. He does all these amazing things. But the truth of the matter is he's still a very young player. He's got a long way to go in his career. Could he end up being one of the greats of all time? Of course he could, but he's just got so long to go. He's got so much career ahead of him, and so that's where, and look, his prices are higher than, a lot of the other GOAT type players. He has very, very high prices. So we're always kind of playing that balancing act of GOATs and value and prospects and value, etc. But that's what makes it so fun to talk about is there is so much nuance to this. So many different cards. Are you talking about rookie cards, insert cards, graded, raw, which grading company, blah, 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 blah. It's endless. So it's fun to talk about. Guys, I am buying, and I made a video on this about 6-7 months ago, Tom Brady. And I'm going to explain why I'm buying Tom Brady in particular over an MJ or a Kobe or a Wayne Gretzky, etc. With Tom Brady, for a lot of people, and it's not just me, when he won his 7th title and it was outside of the organization, the New England Patriots organization, it had a kind of a ripple effect with people. It's like, okay, this guy, he was the GOAT before, but now it's completely solidified, at least for the next couple of decades. It solidified him as the football GOAT. And then it kind of puts him into the conversation of like kind of the GOAT of GOATs. I've heard this term used here recently on other podcasts, other YouTube channels. And I think that it's actually kind of a fun debate to have, the GOAT of GOATs. Now, are there players that have more championships than Tom Brady? Yeah, Bill Russell has more championships than him. But the point is that you have to just look at kind of the full picture of dominance. And then also, of course, Bill Russell hasn't played basketball in a very long time. It doesn't diminish what he's done, but different eras and everything else. So, but Tom Brady is a modern day player that's still playing that is in the conversation of kind of this GOAT of GOATs. Michael Jordan, of course, he's always been up there. He is 6 for 6 in NBA Finals championships. He has never lost in the finals. So a lot of people will point to that. Brady is 7 for 9. He lost 2 Super Bowls. Should Tom Brady be dinged for that? The fact that he is not 9 for 9, which would be absolutely absurd. It's absurd that he's won 7 out of 9 Super Bowls. Let's face it. But even, and I want to talk about, shout out to the prospectors out there too. And what I mean by that is people that are buying into players, that with the hopes that they become that next GOAT. And the reason why I have to give respect to it is I remember being a kid in 1990 and Michael Jordan rookie cards, they were not inexpensive, but Michael Jordan did not win his first title until 1991. I was a Bulls fan. I started following Jordan. Like a lot of kids, I didn't have an NBA team. So when I started seeing the excitement of Michael Jordan, I thought man, this guy he's so exciting to watch. As a kid, I followed that on from 1987 or so onward, watching basketball. And I was a Michael Jordan fan. I used to cry when they lost to the Pistons, in the late 80s. And then they finally won in 1991. But my point is in 1990, nobody had an inkling that he was going to win 6 titles. It wasn't being talked about like that. It was like, okay, he's a magnificent player. He was exciting. Bo Jackson was also a magnificent, exciting player. And it's funny because the trajectory could have been the same. There's a lot of, if you had said Bo Jackson was going to win a few Super Bowls, he was such a, dynamic running back talent with the Raiders, I don't think people would have been, in 1990, people would have been like, okay, I mean, believable. The guy is out of this world. Barry Sanders. Now, Barry Sanders was playing for the Lions. He wasn't in kind of a championship type organization. But again, Barry Sanders' talent, from a talent perspective, if you had told someone he's going to win multiple Super Bowls in 1990, 91 or those early 90s, people would say I could see that. I believe it. So I think that that's part of the fun of it's the sports betting element of sports cards. That's always been there, frankly. That's not something that's brand new. It's just accentuated now because you have higher stake cards. You've got National Treasures type sets that have the opportunity to pull out a card that's worth $500,000 or whatever. That's different now than it used to be, in 1990, but the same sort of thought process goes along with that. It's the same sort of deal where, everyone's excited about players. They're excited about sports. And this is a way to kind of attach yourself to one of these athletes that you think can go on and have an amazing career or be the greatest of all time. That's what's so fun about it. Think about if you're a Giannis collector back in 2014 or whatever. He hasn't done anything, and look, he might only win 1 title in his whole career, but the point is that back in 2014, 2015, as he was coming up, no one saw him being, he was a good player, but he was not on anyone's radar. And then he's kind of built it up. Now he's got a resume. He's won MVPs. He has won an NBA title. And that is kind of that fun prospecting part. Now, for every Giannis, for every Michael Jordan, whatever, there's a million other players that never become that. So that is kind of the risk if you are prospecting. In baseball, you've got the minor leaguers that are coming up. There's a lot of people that are investing in those first Bowman of whatever player. They might never pan out. They might never do anything, or they might be Mike Trout. That's the kind of the fun of it, though. That's part of the fun. All right, let's go back to Tom Brady. I got off on a tangent. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video, so hang in there with me, guys. Hang in there. I'm also going to show some of the cards that I have, some of my Tom Brady collection as well, so definitely stay tuned for that. Let's look at some statistics, because a lot of people also, you've got Super Bowls, but people will say but stats. Let's talk about stats. And then I've also heard, but now you've got a 17-game season as opposed to a 16-game season. So all of these records are going to be broken. Tom Brady's passing yards and touchdown records will be broken by Pat Mahomes or whoever that upcoming player is. Let's look at that, though. All right, so for Tom Brady, right now, he's still playing, keep in mind. His passing yardage sits at 81,268 yards for his career. Number 2 on the passing yards list is Ben Roethlisberger at 61,863 yards. Matt Ryan at 57,099 yards sits at 3. And Aaron Rodgers, who a lot of people kind of peg as okay, this is someone that, he's an amazing player that could challenge some of these records. Well, he's sitting at 52,650 yards. So he is almost 30,000 yards behind Brady. Roethlisberger is 20,000 yards behind Brady. And keep in mind, even with a 17-game season, a 5,000-yard season is a great season for a QB. And that might be more regular now with that extra game, those 5,000-yard seasons. But even still, all right, Tom Brady would have to retire right now. And then you'd have to have 4 years of 5,000-yard seasons for Ben Roethlisberger to catch up with him. And Roethlisberger has battled injuries, and so on. And Roethlisberger is almost 10,000 yards ahead of Aaron Rodgers. So ideal, it's one of those things where if Brady retires after this year, then maybe those guys have a chance, maybe, but they've got to play lights out football for the next 5 years to get there. Let's look at the touchdown passes. Brady has 598 career touchdown passes. Number 2 is my boy Drew Brees, Who Dat Nation, at 571 touchdown passes. Peyton Manning is number 3 at 539, and unless he comes out of retirement, which Peyton Manning probably could come out of retirement and throw a few touchdowns. He sits at 539. Brett Favre is number 4 at 508. Aaron Rodgers sits at 5 at 424. So Brady has roughly 170 more touchdown passes than the next guy that's playing, Aaron Rodgers, at number 5. 170 touchdown passes. If you're having an amazing season, you'll throw for 40 touchdown passes. So that's a great season by anybody's standards. So you'd have to have 4 years of 40 plus touchdown passes with Tom Brady retired to catch him as it sits now. Is it possible for Rodgers to do that? Yes, but he's also not a spring chicken. He is aging. He's getting up there. I think he's 39. I believe he's 39. Maybe he's coming up on 40. The point is that it still would take a lot for Rodgers to get there. It's possible, but it also depends a lot on, how long can Tom Brady play. If he plays for another few seasons, he really kind of puts these records out of reach, at least for the next 10 years. Maybe there's another player coming up that's just absolutely lights out that is coming up and can catch up. Maybe it is a Patrick Mahomes. Maybe it is, but he won't be even in the conversation for another 10 seasons. And it could be more than that. So, if we're stats people and we're looking at it, we've got the Super Bowls, we've got all-time passing yards, all-time touchdowns. In 18 seasons with the Patriots, they won 17 division titles. 17 division titles. Tom Brady's played 19 seasons. I believe this is his 20th season. He went to the Super Bowl 9 times out of 19 seasons? That's almost half of the seasons. Almost half of the seasons this guy was playing in the Super Bowl, which is unheard of. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. LeBron James has been to a lot of NBA finals. He hasn't closed out on those though. But LeBron doesn't have the same sort of finals record. I know the LeBron James people are going to jump in here and scream at me, and that's totally fine. No disrespect to LeBron James. He is an incredible player. He is right up there in the discussion with, didn't Shaq say that LeBron is the greatest of all time? Shaquille O'Neal over Michael Jordan, that was something that recently was said by Shaq. Sports cards are very much player driven, and you've got kind of these legends of legends that sit at the top that really are kind of barometers for that market. I said in 1990, Michael Jordan's rookie card, his 86 Flair rookie card, is now considered a barometer, one of the barometers, not the barometer, one of the barometers for the entire market. In 1990, it wasn't. In 1990, it was a baseball card market. Nobody was really into football and basketball cards. Yes, you had collectors for that. Yes, you did. But it wasn't the same as baseball. Everyone was talking about Don Mattingly rookies and Wade Boggs and Mantle and Willie Mays, the vintage stuff back in 1990. The football, basketball stuff was just coming on. It was just coming on and gaining in popularity. But now, look, basketball is, it's Michael Jordan, it's LeBron James, and it's Kobe are huge. If you look at Gem Rate tracks population reports coming back from PSA population, which people are being graded the most, and it's dominated by basketball players. Michael Jordan is number 1 by far in many months. They track it month by month. And so basketball really kind of dominates it. And then, but look, the whole thing is player driven. It's Michael Jordan, it's Mickey Mantle, it's Kobe, LeBron. Tom Brady is in there as well for football, but football cards historically just have not gotten the same sort of love and still don't as basketball, baseball cards. It's kind of like, I know the hockey card people, will say like hockey cards don't ever get any love, and the hockey card, there's some really nice hockey cards out there. I've got a couple of my hobby friends, Carlos from Because I'm Carlos channel, and then also Jeremy from Sportcards Live. They're big hockey card collectors and they also collect baseball and other sports as well, but they're huge hockey card collectors, and Upper Deck makes some wicked product. I mean, there's some great looking hockey cards out there. They just don't get the hobby love that others do. And football doesn't either. It falls behind basketball and baseball cards. And so, you look at this, and I've been looking at, if you watch my channel, Hall of Fame football, I've got an Otto Graham rookie. I've got a Walter Payton rookie. I've got Terry Bradshaw rookies. And I've got Tom Brady rookies. But it's because part of me kind of wonders, I don't think that football is going to take over, I don't think football is going to is going to be as popular as baseball cards or basketball cards in 20, 30 years. Maybe it will. I don't think that's the case. I just wonder if it's going to catch up to it. I just need them to be on more of an equal playing field. Are they the same in popularity or similar in popularity? Because right now they just aren't, but I think that's a great opportunity for me personally. That's an opportunity. And I already love football cards. Football cards were my first love going back to 89 Pro Set. 89 Pro Set. Everyone loves 89 Pro Set. Just kidding. Most people do not like 89 Pro Set, but that was one of the first sets that I was in there buying cards at 8 years old. And it was fun trying to find Barry Sanders rookies and Troy Aikman rookies and Deion Sanders rookies. So when will football cards get that same sort of love? And even if it's just the QBs and the all-time running backs, fine, or the all-time defensive players, still, I'm here for it. I would love to see it. And so I have chosen Tom Brady as kind of my long-term PC. It's my long-term guy that I'm going to focus in on because of a few different factors. And it could be, I love Michael Jordan cards. I would love to get into it, but the price points are just so much higher in a lot of cases. And I just wonder if I'm getting the same sort of value, with a Michael Jordan, where there's just already so much popularity around the Jordans, the Kobes, LeBrons. From a price point standpoint, I look at Tom Brady and I see potential value there. Now, look, Tom Brady stuff is not inexpensive, and it's not as if now is a great time. But for me, it's I don't know if there's ever going to be a great time. And so I'm looking at kind of values, where I can find them. And again, this is kind of like picking and choosing what you like, but I'll show a few of the cards that I've got here. We'll just kind of run through them. The first one is a Bowman rookie card. I got this in a CSG 7.5 because it was at a discount compared to PSA, obviously. I like the cases. I know the label, people don't like the label. Maybe there's some wasted space on the label, fine. But as far as how the card looks in the case, I think CSG is a tough grade to where if the same card had gone to, a PSA, this is probably a PSA 8. Who knows? Maybe it's a PSA 9. I don't know. Or maybe it's a PSA 4. Who knows? Each card is looked at differently, but, I'm looking at the card and it just looks pretty good. And so this one was at a pretty steep discount compared to, the equivalent of a PSA card. So no brainer for me. And that's the only Bowman card that I've got. I don't have any Bowman Chromes of Tom Brady yet. I've been focusing on kind of the refractor insert market for Brady. I really love this card here. This is a 2008 Topps Chrome. This is the blue refractor. It is not numbered, I don't believe. No. This one is not numbered. So again, it's not mega scarce, but it's just a cool color match, with that Patriots jersey. This is a PSA 8.5. It doesn't break the bank. They're not giving them away, but it's not breaking the bank compared to some of the bigger Tom Brady cards. Staying in that same theme with Topps Chrome. This is a 15 pink refractor. It's numbered out of 399. I do try to get numbered stuff if I can. This is an SGC 10. So again, it's at a discount compared to what you would see, in a PSA 10 for this card. And again, I just don't think the grade is going to be any better at PSA, meaning I don't think that this actually might be a tougher graded SGC than what we would see at PSA. And so it's an opportunity for me to get the card that I want graded at a less expensive price than PSA. But hey, I like PSA too, guys. This is not necessarily a rare card at all. This is just one of his rookies, and Tom Brady has so many rookies. I have a couple of his Michigan jersey ones, and I know, especially in today's cards, like draft picks cards, not exactly the ones that you're, looking for that hold value. But I figured I would kind of diversify a little bit and have just a few different types of Tom Brady rookies. This is Pacific Paramount in a PSA 8. Again, doesn't break the bank, but it's a Tom Brady rookie, and I thought it was kind of a cool card. 2015 National Treasures Century Materials. This has got a patch on it. Let me see if it's a game worn material. So this is before kind of companies getting away from the game worn stuff and just going to player worn or whatever. So it's game worn. It's not a wicked patch or anything. It's just a one color patch. So nothing crazy, but National Treasures Tom Brady stuff is is expensive in general, even just for a base card. This one was at a good price. I believe I won this one at auction. PSA 9, yeah, for this one. So again, PSA 9 for these thicker National Treasures cards is tough. You know, PSA 10s are really hard to come by for the thicker cards. So I picked it up. I thought that was cool and just wanted to have more. I like the memorabilia cards. And so I thought that would be a cool one to have. National Treasures, great brand, obviously. And when you see kind of what unopened boxes of National Treasures go for, then I'm looking at the prices of the individual cards, and it's like, I'll just stick with the individual cards. I'm not going to get into a break or whatever. I want the players that I want. All right, I am a sucker for orange refractor type prisms, the orange cards. This one is 2015 Bowman orange. Nothing crazy about this card. It is numbered to 50. Excuse me, there is something crazy about this card. It's numbered to 50. So, and I know this is not a color match. You know, some people would say like, who's going to want an orange, refractor of Tom Brady when you have all these different colors? The blue refractor is a better like color match for it. I totally get that. For me personally, it's just a cool, I like the orange stuff. I'm a sucker for the orange stuff, which sounds kind of like, okay, buddy. But I've always just bought even like, Celtic stuff. I've got like Jaylen Brown orange and, stuff. I like the orange parallels. I believe this is the first Topps Chrome card for Brady. It could be wrong on that, but I think that is right. And this is the 2002. It's a green PSA 8. This one is actually, it's kind of pricey, especially if you get into PSA 9 and 10. It's very, very, it's pricey. But I think it is because it is that first Topps Chrome for him. And then we'll end with a couple of more orange prisms. Again, I'm a sucker for orange prism. 2016 and then 2017. This is, I like the 17 because that's the Patrick Mahomes rookie year. So I think that's going to be an important set moving forward. There's just a lot of good rookies in there. My boy Alvin Kamara, for the Saints, running back for the Saints rookie, is in that same set. Again, big discount for SGC 9.5. And then I'd like that, part of me is like with the Prism stuff, if Panini does go away, I think that 15, 20 years down the road, people are going to look back on this sort of stuff. It is numbered. It's numbered to $2.99. And they're going to be like, man, there's going to be a nostalgia factor, I think. For me, I think there definitely will be, because it's going to be like, man, these products were cool back in the day. And I think that I want to kind of end on that note. I think that even if sports cards do take a dive, I know there's worries about the economy. I have similar concerns about the economy with inflation and everything else. And just, is that going to hold up? Are we going to see a recession, coming up? I'm with you. I'm with people on that as well. For me, though, if there's a recession, ideally, assuming my, job status and everything stays the same, I would like to be buying kind of during that if there is a dip in prices. But I do think that regardless, in 10, 15, 20 years, 25 years, there will be another big nostalgic sports card kind of rush. I think that there will be. I think it'll happen again. So even if we go through a dry spell where sports cards, let's say we go through, in a few years, it's like, everyone's tired of sports cards. They're getting into other things. They're getting into, NFTs or something else, other collectibles, whatever it is. I do think that there will be another big surge. I don't know if it'll be quite like 2020, but I think that for young people, younger generations, not even just people like me, that are getting back into it, but I think that this was, it brought the hobby. This hobby now is gotten a lot bigger. And I think that there's people that haven't even been born yet that in 20, 25 years are going to have YouTube or podcasts, whatever it is, on sports cards. It's not going away anytime soon. It's 100-year plus, market, industry, hobby, whatever you want to call it. And I'm excited to see just kind of how it evolves over time. And, the ups and downs, I'll be in it regardless. So it's fun. Guys, tell me your journey. Are you buying into goats? Is there a particular goat that you like to buy into? I would like to kind of hear your story behind this. Or are you just like, goats are too expensive. I'm just prospecting. And I would like to hear what you're prospecting on. Again, I learned so much from you guys. I've learned so much from you all since I started this channel, about 18 months ago, and I'm excited to learn more. So share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you very much for joining me here on this beautiful Saturday. Let's have an amazing weekend, you guys, and let's go New Orleans Saints against the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football. All right, guys, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.